Peskies Pest Control. Put your bugs on the run. Call 205-470-8161.
Hey everybody, Travis here with Peskies Pest Control, and we kind of have a special video for you today. I'm in the office. However, I have Michael Winnicky on location at a customer's house. So we're going to bring him in remotely and we're going to walk around and we're going to talk about this customer. Now, this house in particular has an issue with squirrels. The rodents were climbing on the house, doing some damage. So Michael's going to actually be able to take you around, kind of explain what was going on. And I think he may even have a furry friend in a cage that we kind of trapped for you. So everybody say hello to Michael.
Hey, how we doing?
Michael.
I do have a furry friend. I'm actually staring at him while he's staring back at me. So super excited about this new deal that we're trying out, Travis. So I hope it works well.
Well, maybe this will be a little more informative than obviously just the both of us sitting here talking about it, as you can kind of put your boots on the ground, walk around, actually explain things and show things to some customers. And maybe this can be helpful to some folks who are having some rodent issues.
Awesome. Well, let me grab my phone and we'll kind of go around the house. I just want to talk a little bit about when we first got here, entry points, just things that you as a customer can do to prevent these problems that this customer is currently dealing with. I don't know, Travis, what would you say? How many homes out of, the whole block have squirrel issues? One in
I don't
five?
know, but it's going to be several. Typically, what I have seen in my own dealings with squirrels in neighborhoods is that a lot of times if you go to a house, customer calls, has a squirrel issue, you go to that house. A lot of times if you look to your left or your right of that property, the neighbor's house will have rodent damage as well. So it's very likely that they're not the only one.
Correct. And it's not uncommon for them to just go house to house to house. So
Absolutely.
All right. Well, let me figure out how to do this because this is all new.
Take us on a tour. Let us see what's going on.
All right, Travis, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine.
All right.
All right. So we've got a 2-story house there.
Yep. So main entry was right there. So low gable vent. So they were getting in and they were actually destroying the wood pretty heavily. So they've been at it for a while. But there he is on all his glory. So harmless cage. It's a live trap cage. So get up there with a ladder, put a cage next to that cage, and remove that little door at the top. I don't know if we can zoom in on that or not. Oh, can I? Nope, I don't think so. We'll get that figured out. But again, yeah, I just wanted to talk about, kind of how they can get in. So if you look at this brick, which I think that last video that we did, this is just a ladder for them. So they can climb right up there. And then again, they're right in that space, or potentially, chewing into some area, some hole. We've looked around this whole house, haven't found any other openings besides this gable and then a back entry on the chimney. So we'll go over that. But again, something as a homeowner can do, just make sure that you're reinforcing your eaves, especially if you've got, open corners, open cracks around the eaves. Right in there, they can climb right up in there, chew through that vinyl, and then of course they're right into the house, depending on the house was built.
And that's what I was going to actually ask you about. Were they climbing up the brick, or were there any other access points from like trees overhanging the roof line or touching the roof line at all?
Well, we are in Bluff Park or Hoover. So I think everybody that lives in Hoover says they've got a tree touching every, at least 1 inch of their house. So, you got this tree right here. It's not too far from the house. I would say probably a good, 6 feet, 6 to 10 feet. So it's not an issue for them jumping. But look at the chimney here. You've got the main roof access, and then you've got the chimney from the deck. So it's a ladder. It's not a problem at all. So on this left-hand side of the chimney, there's that other entry point, which you cannot see. We're still in the trapping process, so we're not in the sealing process. But we'll get that sealed up as well once we get these squirrels out of the building. So I'm not going to walk over to the other side because there's 3 pit bulls and they're just going to bark. So we'll avoid that area.
Right. So what a lot of people don't understand too, going back to talking about the trees and whatnot, is that these rodents can jump a decent amount of length from a tree over to a roof line. So if you have trees overhanging your roof line, you know, anywhere close, the squirrels will jump back and forth. They are fearless, really.
Yeah, that's right. So give me a minute and I will get the ladder over here. We'll get up here and kind of explain why these guys do so much damage and how they do it and all that. So I'll be right back.
All right. All right, so Michael, while he's doing that, I'll kind of elaborate a little bit. So he's going to remove the extension ladder off the ladder rack. So, you know, for the general homeowner, just always be careful on a ladder. Michael and I have quite a few years of experience as firefighters, spend a lot of time with heights, spend a lot of time with ladders. So big point, make sure your climbing angle's good. Make sure that you try to maintain 3 points of contact, whether it's 2 feet, a hand, 1 foot, and 2 hands. It's kind of the rule though, 3 points of contact anytime that you're working off of a ladder. Just be safe out there, guys, and make sure that you're practicing some really good ladder safety. Michael's got the ladder set up. Obviously he's back with us, so show him your setup. There you go. So Michael's going to climb up the ladder now, and he's going to go ahead and try to get the squirrel removed out from the cage that's up there. Now, Michael, do we know, is there possibly more than one, or do we think there's only one in the house?
Just from what they've heard and kind of what I've seen, 2 or 3, maybe 4. Just with the amount of damage it's done, just, speculation, not knowing. Typically, the more damage done, the more squirrels. So,
right.
All right, I'm gonna throw you in my pocket real quick and climb up this ladder.
Okay.
Safety first, Travis.
3 points of contact.
That's right.
All right, so Michael's back with us after a little bit of technical difficulties at the top of the ladder. So, Michael, show us what you got going on.
Yeah, so let me get this switched over real quick. Just watching this guy too. Perfect. So there he is. So he's a little upset right now because we're filming him, but he's been just kind of hanging out, clicking along. But I don't want to get too upset. But you can see how big those claws are relative to the body, right, Travis?
Well, not only just the claws to worry about, but the teeth as well. Just because, I mean, for one, they obviously, of course, can bite you, but then two, they just constantly chew and gnaw on things.
Well, what I was saying though is, everyone's just like this home right here. Well, can they climb brick? Well, look at their claws, look at their hands. They can climb just about anything.
Oh, and show us the damage of the hole where they had chewed into the vent.
Yeah, so they just went right up here. They had plenty of time on this ledge to just sit here and work at this area. There was no screen up here. That's something that we had to put up to cut a hole in the screen to create that opening for him to be able to get in this one-way door trap. But again, just open. So to make themselves more comfortable, they chewed through the wood, broke the wood, which is pretty thin wood. And then there's a bat screen on the inside that's just about on every home. And they chewed through that, and then they're in your house. Or in this house.
Right. Those bat screens are typically just very, very fine mesh. So definitely would be something really easy for a rodent to get through.
Yep. So we'll show you how we remove it. I'm going to carefully do it while filming. So bear with me. I also want to talk about one thing. So we had an issue at this house, and, wildlife is all about figuring out problems and finding out solutions. Almost like MacGyvering it is what I like to call it. So this particular house was very hard to get this trap to set still, because if it's very shaky, then the squirrel will not get into it because it's not going to step off something that's kind of rocking back and forth. So that's what this issue was, is that these screws were not holding the cage properly or any of that. So came up with the wild idea to make almost like a leverage vantage point, or mechanical. Thank you, Brody. Point right there to hold that cage in place up and down, so you can see kind of how
how strong that is. So again, wildlife is nothing but making your own puzzle pieces to a puzzle piece that or a box of puzzles that no longer has pieces.
Right. And clearly it worked, because I mean, the proof is there. He's climbing around in the cage.
I mean, I'm excited about it, Travis. You know, anytime we get a squirrel in a cage, it's a win. So let me try to pin this up here and get my gloves on and all that fun stuff and get him out of this cage.
Right.
All right.
All right. So while Michael is doing that, you know, just bear in mind, squirrels are cute. They look cuddly, but they are wild animals. They will bite you. They've got very sharp teeth, and they will bite you. So, you know, you do see some people out there that have some pet squirrels that have been raised from, you know, maybe a baby that there was an accident. Maybe this baby squirrels lost their moms and whatnot. They've been raised by humans and whatnot. So maybe they would tolerate a little bit of human interaction a bit more. But one of these squirrels like this, I would definitely not handle it barehanded at all.
Can you see well?
Yeah, that's a good view. So,
right,
Michael, tell us
go
what you're about to try to do.
So I'm going to go get the other one-way door trap. We're going to put it right up against here. We're going to open this and slide this up, and he'll go in the new trap, and then we'll be able to transfer him to a new trap while leaving this trap still up, because it would not be fun to have to pull this trap down and put it back for the remaining squirrels that are in this house.
Right. Well, go ahead, and Michael will be right back.
All right, you with me, Trevor?
Oh yeah, so we can see you. Go ahead and show us how to remove the squirrel.
All right, first thing I'll say is you got to lock in. So for all my firemen out there, we're locked into this ladder just in case we do happen to fall backwards. So we've got to carefully do here. Out of the way. Boom.
And just like that, he
Like
is
new money.
been put into the other trap to be removed from the customer's house.
Oh. No matter how many times you do that, it is still nerve-wracking. You with me? Can you see?
Oh yeah, we can see him. It's a little
right,
grainy,
cool.
but we can see, we get the idea.
Awesome.
And just like that, the squirrel is removed from the customer's attic. Now, as Michael said earlier in the video, due to the amount of noise they're hearing, the amount of damage that's been found, it is very possible that there could be more than just the one. So, of course, we're not going to go about removing this trap immediately. We're going to definitely leave it up for a while, continue to monitor it, and make sure that there's no other squirrels in the attic before sealing that up, because we wouldn't want to seal an animal into an attic. If that were to happen, there's a potential. Obviously, the animal could die inside an attic, but there's also the potential that they could cause and create more damage. You know, animals that are locked in would possibly chew through sheetrock and get into the living space of the customer's house, so just cause more damage. So certainly not a situation that we would want to have for that customer. And as you can see, Michael is actually down there speaking with the homeowner after we're going ahead and removing the squirrel. And if you're in the Birmingham area and you need pest control, rodent control, wildlife control, our number is 205-470-8161. If you're in the Montgomery market, our number is 334-595-9055. Sounds like you're packing the ladder up.
Yep. Packing the ladder up. We're gonna get in the attic here in a minute. Okay. So yeah, packing the ladder up. So you want to take a break from here, and then when I get up in the attic, we can start filming again.
Yeah, that'll be fine. We'll see you back here in a few minutes.
All right, perfect. Let me get all this back on the truck, and then we'll get up in the attic and check the other 2 traps and see if there's anything in there.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you. So we've got a trap right there with nothing in it. The customer has not heard any noises since we've been here. Or after the trapping. And there's our other trap right there. And then of course we just did a video on removing that squirrel, which is right around that corner right there. So again, talking about our inspection, so we go through the whole attic, kind of look for those areas where they can and can't get in. Normally a gable vent's an issue on the sides, but this one's been vinyled over, so it hasn't shown any signs of squirrel activity. Same with the other side. So just that front right there, where we got that guy in the one-way trap.
All right, so Michael is back in the truck after retrieving the squirrel out of the live trap, and after kind of showing us, the conditions of what he found in the attic. Michael, are you a little hot and sweaty there, it looks like?
Man, it is only 77 outside, and it's hot. Yeah, it's hot. So
Well, I don't
Very
know
hot.
what type of insulation
Weather's
is
real
in
hot
that
around
attic.
here.
I don't know what type of insulation's in that attic, but I'm going to assume it's not spray foam.
No, it was full. I don't remember what they call it. I think it's called batten, maybe. That's
Or
what's kind of
blow-in?
going to my head. But it's like the rollout. The rollout.
Oh,
But I thought it was
okay,
called batten. I could be wrong.
Roll insulation, yeah.
Yep. So I would rather have that than foam, though. We've done plenty of podcasts and spills on foam and how foam is good and bad. But I would rather have either blown in or the.
All right, so you got on site, you retrieve the squirrel out of the trap, check the attic again. So what's kind of the outlook going forward for this customer? What's going to be the process and maybe the length of time? So what are you kind of anticipating with this property?
Yes, the customer actually pulled up while I was outside getting everything set up. So we got to go in the attic. So that was good to see the 2 traps in the attic. Those are empty. I told her probably looking about 2 more weeks. So I'd like to see a week of no activity, no noises, nothing in the traps. And then, if we feel good about it, we'll pull those traps, get everything fully sealed up. The biggest thing, we don't want to seal up an animal inside the attic. Sometimes that can be catastrophic.
Right. And while you were going down the ladder with the squirrel, I kind of went over that with the viewers. So, just the potential. Obviously, you don't want to seal a live a live animal inside of a hot attic, just from a humanitarian standpoint, but also the amount of damage that they would cause trying to get out. I mean, there's potential for them chewing through the sheetrock, getting into the living space of the customer's property, further damaging other vents or portions of the eave. So it just could be a bad situation.
Yeah, and let's talk about safety for a minute, because I feel like that's important. The ladder, we want to be on a level ground. I mean, anybody that's trying to do this themselves, because you can do it yourself. Level ground, don't try to, I guess, hop the ladder around and all that. Make sure you've got a good working platform. 3 points of contact. Again, I locked my leg into the ladder when I was removing that squirrel off there, just in case something did happen. Occasionally, it doesn't go that well. So I'm glad we got that video, because I'm proud of that catch, because sometimes they can flip out of the cage. So that was good. Again, you just want to keep your safety, because we don't want to fall. Same with going to the attic. Want to wear, respirator, breathing apparatus, something that's going to keep you away from all that dust and, feces or whatever's up there.
Absolutely. Well, Michael, thank you for all your efforts out there at the customer's house today. We appreciate you taking us along for the ride, so to speak, and getting us some really good video footage and talking about the process. And be careful out there on your drive to your next location. And Again, if you or anyone else that you know is having an issue with rodents, wildlife, pests, termites, mosquitoes, bed bugs, any of those things, feel free to give us a call. Again, our number is 205-470-8161 in the Birmingham location. And if you're in the Montgomery area, Prattville, Millbrook, Wetumpka, anywhere in the river region, give us a call at 595-9055. We'll be more than happy to come out, see what's going on, and take care of you and your property. And as always, with any of our services, you'll be 100% happy or you won't pay a penny. Thanks, and we'll see you on the next video.
Google Peskies Pest Control Montgomery.